12. I don't know why I said episode 5. You know what I mean. Probably. Anyway, welcome to episode 12 of The Paper Thing. Today's episode, AOC, what she did there. As I am recording the show, as you're watching this show, well, no one's watching it yet because I don't think the notification's gone out, but as you are taking in this show, perhaps on YouTube, while I was recording this, a reshuffle was starting, with the rumour being that Gavin Williamson is going to be made Northern Ireland Secretary. So that's the sort of cursed island morning afternoon we're having here. So we're gonna hey Slinkamai, good to see you. Thank you for joining us as ever. Gonna start with some. Gonna move on to a speed round through the Telegraph. Gonna try and do the Telegraph in 1 minute, which is insanity, obviously, but why not? Let's do it. Yes, that was an anger scream from person in the room with regard to the fact that Gavin Williamson looks set to be moved to the Northern Ireland office. Because what better place to put the man who fucked up education than the extremely sensitive world of Northern Irish politics. So, we're going to start with the Sun. Let's start with the Sun. Hello from the Business Factory, says SK the Crusader, and hello to you here from the Discourse Mill. We're going to start with the Sun. If you are on Twitter and you see some important reshuffle news, if, like, they decide that Dylan the dog is now going to be Education Secretary, or that Carrie is now in charge of a department for counting the moon, just use your Herzogs to highlight your comment and tell me the reshuffle news. Or if you just want to make some up, even better. Right, so let's begin with the Sun anyway. Front page of the Sun. Who cares wills? Terrible headline, means nothing. A pun on the SAS's slogan, who dares wins, makes no sense. Anyway, it's the Sun promoting their own Who Cares Wins awards, where they give little bits of plastic to people from the NHS, while still in their leader columns and elsewhere implying that, you know, what they really want to have happen is the NHS be privatised fully. SK the Crusader is actually in charge of the Department for Counting the Moon, the only non-partisan appointment in history. Good to know. Good to know. I mean, I'd back you as Minister for Counting the Moon. Right, moving into the paper itself. We've got a double-page spread ad for the National Lottery. On pages 4 and 5, Duke hails brave medics on NHS frontline. 999 heroes run towards danger when the rest of us turn away, says Prince William. Well, your family certainly does. On pages 6 and 7, more stuff about that, including Rishi Sunak was there, as was Frank Lampard, Troy Daly, Chris Evans and Piers Morgan. Yeah, what a pretty shitty room. Today, page 9 is page 3, with page 3 that isn't page 3, but is page 3 is page 9. Towie star Jess Wright is pictured wearing a bikini for, you know, reasons. Also on that page, King Crave, Paul finds 7-inch treat in cereal packet. A schoolboy bit off more than he could chew when he pulled out a Crave cereal shell that was 7.5 inches long. Classic tabloid story, completely ridiculous. That'll have come in from an agency. Yu-Gi-Oh! I always thought it was the Department for Countering the Moon as part of the mandated hexings of solar bodies. I wish that was the case. Hey, Studying Fango, how are you doing? Good to see you. We are just enjoying the Sun and the prospect of Boris Johnson reorganising the seating within the giant clown car of government. On pages 10 and 11, as Doomsters try to pressure Boris again, believe in boosters is the headline. Doomsters. Say it enough times and the word loses all meaning. Hang on, no, it had no meaning to start with. Right, on page 13, Queen nets £460,000 after record 32 race wins. Whoopie-doo. Extremely rich woman gets richer still. Prince Andrew apparently will lock himself away at Balmoral for the next 2 weeks as his lawyers work on tactics to sink his sex abuse case. Again, a diminishing way to describe a case in which he is accused of rape. One of the Queen's closest friends, Sir Timothy Coleman, who's married to her first cousin, the late Lady Mary, has died. He was 91. On pages 15 and 14. Weird way for me to say that. Lots of pictures of people at the Met Gala. And I think the best outfit was Lil Nas X in a C-3PO style suit of armour. Slinker Meyer, Doomer would be better, but that's too close to Boomer for a tabloid read primarily by boomers to use. Yeah, exactly. Jane Moore is awful, and today's awfulness is Emma has the one thing you just can't teach. Star quality. They continue the build-up before they drag her down. And actually, the start of the dragging her down, I see the hint of on the front of the Daily Mail today. We'll get to that soon enough. On page 19... bridge under troubled water. Tower Bridge looked a bit like the river it crosses yesterday with heavy rain. Whoopie-doo. Apparently, our homes have been invaded by 200 billion sex-mad daddy longlegs. Apparently, the crane flies are hatching underground in vast numbers after the cool, damp summer. In their eagerness to mate, the nookie-crazed critters will blunder into homes attracted by lights and TV screens. Insect charity Bug Life thinks this could be a record year with up to 200 million. The headline, Invasion of the Daddy Longlegs, which is really not no pun, no bother at pun. One of the Strictly Come Dancing pros has caught COVID. They report on the new iPhone 13. It's extremely expensive. They always are when they first come out. Heavy rain, what is that? Says Studying Fangirl. Quina chasing her horse was also an excellent outfit. Plus, yay, Indigenous representation. Yeah, I'm not even sure if they had that on that page. Owners feeling wuff. My fake dog's a bit shih tzu. Fury over Duff copy of Pet. A dog owner paid £200 for a replica of her shih tzu, but got back a horrible teddy. Well, I'm sorry, you're a mug. Why would you order a weird... I mean, it's just bizarre. Why would you do that? Says me, currently in a battle with the Bradford Exchange. On pages 27, gym coregasms. 10% have climaxed doing weights or sit-ups. 1 in 10 pumped up gym goers have had an orgasm while exercising, a study shows. Let's see where the boffins that did this study come from. US boffins from Indiana University. Not just boffins, but US boffins nonetheless. A woman has become the youngest qualified accountant in the UK, aged 19. She finished school at 15 with 10 A-star GCSEs, then bagged an apprenticeship at an accountancy firm. Okay, well done for her. Gavin and Stacey star Matt Horn has married his partner. He's 43, she's 27. They got married in a 1930s mansion in Oslo. The headline, to Gav and to hold. But of course he played... Yes, and of course he played Gavin in Gavin and Stacey. So there you go. Thankfully, this was one production where James Corden was not involved. On pages 30 and 31, more crap about Jeremy Clarkson. The headline this time, back British farmers. I will have to put corks in my cows' arses. The man's a knob, exactly. Age gap alert. Doing a curl must be like coming. Paraphrasing Big Arnie. Yeah. Long Lost Family, what happened next is reviewed in the TV review. Celebrity MasterChef is on tonight at 9 p.m. Also tonight, Channel 5, 9 p.m. The Week on the Farm. Fred and Rose West reopened. I think that's the cases reopened rather than them. I don't think it's some kind of weird, specialised serial killer gape porn. But who knows? And finally, Gordon Ramsay Uncharted on National Geographic, 9 p.m. He just goes to different places, and at this time he's eating very spicy chili. Whose ashes? There you go, there's a fact. Hey, Pantomime Horse, how you doing? Good to see you. In Dear Deirdre today, someone said that caring for her elderly mum has wrecked her marriage. Someone else had wild sex Then he said he had herpes. There's a very sad letter about miscarriages. A letter from a parent driven to distraction by their toddler refusing to sleep. And, oh, God. Emma Kenny, a TV psychologist, is part of a debate here between her and Nicola McLean about, we debate the pros and cons of having a special relationship with a colleague. Is it ever okay to be a work wife? Emma Kenny says yes. Nicola McLean says no. They talk about a couple who've been slammed for 9/11 Twin Towers wedding invites, which is disturbing. How the wild divorce party became the new Hindu. Male strip shows now the #1 spot for breakup parties. I mean, that sort of makes sense, doesn't it? Gunther von Hagen's inspecting Fred West. What is a TV psychologist? One who's not actually qualified. Kamaya says, given that Fred West is grim, that's an especially grim image there. Thanks, Mick. Well, with Mark Kenosis away at a conference, we've got to keep the grimness levels up. And the £50 letter today comes from John Burton, who says, it was dangerous and stupid of insulate Britain protesters to sit and block the M25 in rush hour to raise awareness of climate change. They only succeed in causing anger to the public who wish to go about their daily business. These cretins are planning further disruptions too. Are we supposed to tolerate yet another bunch of twerps who are hell-bent on causing nuisance? Yeah, until Priti Patel forces through her laws that make protest of any kind illegal. Yeah, I guess you have to. Can't be bothered with any more letters from them today. Today's really crap thing you can buy. The When Angels Are Near floating crystal diamond floating crystal pendant. Yours for just £89.97. It contains 14 clear Swarovski crystals and cradled within her glittering free-floating crystals 2 delicate sculpted angel feathers, an angel and a heart charm, symbols of your guardian angel's everlasting love. Oh yeah, look at that, what a beauty. Get that for some...
Do not buy it because they'll keep sending you fucking angels.
Get that for someone you hate. It's the Bradford Exchange again.
It's the Bradford Exchange angel fucking scam.
I'm not going to buy the angel pendant.
You fucking bought the coins.
Yeah, for like 10 quid as a joke.
Backfired, didn't it?
It did backfire.
Not so funny now.
Well, actually, it's sort of increasingly funny. But, and in the sport, it's a super group, says Jurgen Klopp, and Pep says Man City are not failures. And in the most hilarious match of the season so far, Man United were defeated by Young Boys at the Wankdorf Stadium. That is today's Sun. I give it a quadruple negative nice. Minus 69, 69, 69, 69. Grith, yeah, the joke is increasingly funny, but not for person in the room. I know. Well, you know. This is the choice she's made. TV psychologists sound like they're besmirching the good name of Dr. Ruth. Yeah, pretty much. Okay, so let us move on. Well, actually, so I do a roll call. I'll do a roll call. I'll do the roll call, and then I'm going to move on to the Daily Telegraph, which I'm going to attempt to do in 1 minute flat. It won't happen. It's near impossible.
You can't even open it in 1 minute flat.
I know. Well, this is the thing, but I'm going to try.
It's never been done, mate.
It's never been done. It is possible. I think it's possible. Right, Slinkermeyer in with her score for the Sun. A quadruple negative nice as well. A sensible score for today's cursed paper. Right, in the chat today, I am the Broken Bottle Boy. You can follow me on Twitter at Broken Bottle Boy. Also here, beaming in from the work factory, it's SK the Crusader. Also here, Demimad, another TT viewer, Yu-Gi-Oh!, Friday Ventos, Ged Station, the excellent Ged Station. I mean, I'm sure if you watch this stream, you watch Ged's streams, but if you don't, you should follow him here. on Twitch, so you get notified when he's on. He's much more entertaining than me. Gethin Wyn Jones is here. Chronotherm is here. Thanks for your contributions. All Lilith Mysterio is here. Morin Skell is here. Mercutio UK. Pantomime Horse, always good to see you. Recursive Rose, hello. Slinkermeyer, the excellent Slinkermeyer. Try to just remind you most days. Go and check out her photography on Instagram. It is excellent. Studying Fangirl. Another excellent streamer who you should be following here. And of course, last but never least, it's Zoe Brings Bacon. Hey Zoe, how are you? Okay. Boop, boop, boop. Mustard. Yeah, think about prime for some primo flailing as I try and do the Telegraph in 1 minute. Yep, that's gonna happen. There will be flailing. There will be blood. There was hardly any blood. Right. One minute. Here we go. Right. Front cover of the Telegraph. It's got a picture of Alexander Ocasio-Cortez in her dress. They talk about asylum seekers, winter lockdown, and there's Alison Pearson talking shit. Inside, RAF Typhoon in front of the White Cliffs of Dover. Some dogs in a swimming pool. That is actually quite cute. Loads of stuff on the winter plan. Colonial Framework Limited Booker Prize, says Foundation Chief. A ridiculous picture of Keir Starmer that I'll show you later. Killer handed 3 life sentences set to be released. Of course, they're scaremongering about that. A really cool car, which I will show you after this. Maori's a petition to change the name of New Zealand. Seems sensible to me. Awful people in the comment section. Ruth Dudley Edwards, Philip Johnson, Joseph Wu, and Robert Dingwall. A feature about, is the UK really ready for a right-wing news channel? Do we have any other kind? In the arts, we have lost the art of listening to one another, says a choreographer. In the obituaries, Margaret Purvis and Charlotte Johnson Wilde, Boris Johnson's mother. And that is the Telegraph. Studying Fangirl says, get a sand timer. Yeah. Please no more dress discourse. Isn't dogs in a pool a euphemism? In this case, no. It's actually dogs in a pool. I will show you the pictures I promised I would show you during that speed run. By the way, that's a new PB. An unbreakable PB for the Telegraph, I think. 1 minute. Here are some dogs in a pool. Here is Keir Starmer looking like his own spitting image puppet. And here is a cool car. It is a 1971 ISO Grifo, which is set to sell for £250,000. It's a Grand Tourer made by ISO Auto Veicoli to compete with Ferrari and Maserati and used American engines. I think it looks pretty cool. Yu-Gi-Oh! Why would you show us that? Nobody wants to look at a rotten ham. Well, the trouble is, Yu-Gi-Oh! If I have to see it, you have to see it. It's just one of the... That's just the way the stream works. Right. Let us now move on to the Times. When doesn't Keith look like his own puppet, says Slinkermeyer. A very fair and reasonable point. Okay, so we're on to the Times. Front cover of the Times, top of the page. Mad Met Ball. How the A-list do fancy dress, more dress discourse. Who is Prince Andrew's hotshot lawyer? Well, he's a piece of shit who defends pieces of shit. On the front page there, another picture of the dogs in the pool, not a euphemism. And the main story, of course, is go hard, go early to curb winter crisis, Johnson told. Same coverage of the winter plan. We'll see how that comes together as all the other papers. And at the bottom of the page, ahead of this reshuffle, God knows where he's going, although some people are saying he's going to the Foreign Office of all places. Apparently, Michael Gove has been given the job of saving Christmas. So assume that Christmas will be spent amid power cuts and a complete absence of food if he's in charge. Right, inside the paper, the guy understudying the guy playing Doc Brown in the Back to the Future musical had to step in for the main actor on the very first night of the show, on the night, in fact, that Christopher Lloyd, who obviously played Doc Brown in the original films, was in the audience. Saudi camel carvings are almost twice the age of Stonehenge, apparently. The camels that stand guard over the sands of northern Saudi Arabia were gazing out over the desert when it was all lush grassland. That is because the life-size stone sculptures were created 6,000 years earlier than previously thought and are almost twice the age of Stonehenge. When 21 camel, horse, and horse-like figures were discovered carved in stone in the Saudi desert in 2018, they were estimated to be 2,000 years old because of similarities to the Jordanian city of Petra, which was hewn into rock about 2 millennia ago. But scientists have now studied the carvings and found the original estimates were out by 6 millennia. Placing the creation around the 6th millennium BC, a time when this area of Arabia was a savanna-like grassland scattered with lakes and trees, populated by tribes herding livestock. Analysis of tool marks and weathering of the sculptures, as well as fallen fragments and the density of the rock's topmost layers, suggests that the carvings were made not after the end of the Iron Age, but thousands of years earlier, during the Neolithic period. They would have been crafted 3,500 years before the stones were hauled into place at Stonehenge. The carvings are reliefs on the face of stone formations. Such work can be found in parts of Turkey, but are rare in Saudi Arabia. The camel site is part of a wider pattern of activity where groups frequently came together to establish and mark symbolic places, the researchers write in a journal published in a paper published in the Journal of Archaeological Science. Neolithic communities repeatedly returned to the camel site, meaning its symbolism and function was maintained over many generations, said the paper's author Maria Guagnin from the Max Planck Institute for the Science of Human History in Germany. Preservation of the site is key, as is the future research in the region to identify. Yeah. Person in the. What you used to what?
I did some work in Libya.
She did some work in Libya with her. That's archaeological work rather than spooky work. Yes, person in the room used to be an archaeologist, but she's over it now. She's really not. On page 4, the British Medical Association has dropped opposition to assisted dying in a narrow vote for neutrality. I think that's sensible. Tiffany has its bejeweled eye on Raducanu's sparkling form. Oh, shut up. Better batteries and a focus on fitness in Apple's latest launch. I couldn't really care less. What's your Max Planck? Not high. Hello, Sambatsu. What am I reading? I review the papers, the British newspapers. Today I'm reviewing, I just reviewed The Sun. Awful. Just reviewing the Times, equally awful, and did a speed run through the Telegraph a minute ago. Basically, we analyse the papers every day. Red Tick Seed says, spy in the room. No. Be a terrible spy. Also, she's Northern Irish. Did you think the MI5 or MI6 would let you in?
I to Libya really easily on my Irish passport.
Yeah, because they probably thought you were bringing Gaddafi some more lovely guns.
Yeah, probably.
Vaccine passports, coming to pick some up. Vaccine passports imposed with a week's notice under crisis plan is the claim. Quentin Letts is awful. Person in the room just keeps getting cooler, says Studying Fangirl. I can't disagree. She's extremely cool.
Oh.
Easily, I am the third coolest person in this house. AstraZeneca sidelining booster dose drive. Javid hints at ditching PCR tests for vaccinated arrivals. Of course he does. Putin forced to isolate hours after talks with Assad. Climate change fears deter young from having children. I mean, I think this is...
Children deter young from having children.
Yeah, there you go. Farmers have no faith in subsidy plans. Police hit back at armchair critics after M25 protests. Look, my favourite kind of critic, the armchair critic. There's an armchair there in which I sit and do much of my criticism. Nearly 1,500 dolphins were killed on Sunday in what a marine conservation group has said was the largest single hunt on record in the Faroe Islands. Sea Shepherd, a charity that campaigns against the hunting of whales and dolphins, said that the superpod of 1,428 Atlantic white-sided dolphins have been killed at Skallabotna in the North Atlantic archipelago. Rob Reed, Chief Operations Officer at Sea Shepherd, said, "This is, we believe, the largest ever single hunt of dolphins or pilot whales in Faroese history. The next largest being 1,200 pilot whales back in 1940. It's possibly the largest single hunt of cetaceans ever recorded worldwide. Such a hunt to take place in 2021 in a very wealthy island community just 230 miles from the UK with no need or use for such a vast quantity of undoubtedly contaminated meat is outrageous." This happened also towards the end of this summer when the Faroese had already killed 615 long-finned pilot whales and their freezers are already full. It's no surprise, therefore, that this latest unprecedented hunt is being criticised in the Faroese media and even by many outspoken pro-whalers. Imagine being an outspoken pro-whaler. What are you into? I'm very pro-whaling. Pro-vax at the business secretary. Sorry I was away. I had to help a colleague with the world's easiest problem. Well, better than the world's hardest problem. Priti Patel faces a deepening rift with police officers over a pay freeze after she avoided a public appearance and defended the decision on video. The head of the Police Superintendents Association, also guaranteed to be a piece of work, said it was disappointing that the Home Secretary did not attend their conference and accused ministers of failing officers. Then Cressida Dick, Britain's most senior officer, also criticised the pay freeze for the first time in her speech. Well, I mean, imagine being Cressida Dick and throwing criticism of anyone else around. Hashtag follow back pro whale. Cummings urges curbs on students' dark web drugs. Dominic Cummings has criticised the Home Office for failing to tackle the problem of students ordering prescription drugs on the dark web. He's been on Reddit again. Boris Johnson's former chief advisor said that students at Oxford and Cambridge had told him they have drugs delivered to their pigeonholes. He was responding to a tweet. What was he doing talking to students? He was responding to a tweet by Andrew D. Huberman, a professor of neurobiology and ophthalmology at Stanford University, who warned about the number of students using prescription drugs to stay awake and focus during their study. This is like... The Times essentially has journalists just watching Dominic Cummings' Twitter account constantly. British children should stop snacks and dine like the French, says Manon Lagrave, who is a former contestant on the Great British Bake Off. Said, in England, my daughter is going to see all the children snacking on something. She's going to be like, where is my snack? Lagrave added that she wanted to instill the stricter French values of eating in her daughter. Listen, the French have a much lower rate of obesity than the UK, and there's something to that, but also, French eat plenty of shit, and also a country where one of their delicacies is still, like, gassing a bird to death. Slinker shut the fuck up, Cummings. Yeah. In the diary column of the Times today, having watched the Hugh Bonneville and Co. film, the second Downton Abbey movie in her home this year, the Countess of Carnarvon fancies herself a screenwriter, perhaps a slightly less posh Julian Fellows. The Chatelaine of Highclere Castle wrote a script with help from Sally in the Gift Shop for a short film that she intended to shoot at a 1920s Magic of the Movies party at Highclere last weekend. Alas, the big scene, which revolved around an afternoon tea, was spoilt by Alfie, her Labrador, who invaded the set when no one was looking and ate the props. We are pro Alfie. Well done, Alfie. You saved us from that film.
He's a good dog.
What a good boy. Apparently, grieving apes carry their dead infants, which is, sort of heartbreaking, but I'm not surprising. Dartmoor is going to call time on messy campers. England's only national park to allow wild camping could restrict the activity to limited areas of moorland after concerns about antisocial behaviour. Well, it will cease to be wild camping then, won't it? Overnight stays in caravans and group barbecues, among other activities, to be reviewed in potential overhaul of the bylaws. Well, I mean, it shouldn't be happening anyway. Good boy, Alfie. Well done. Yeah, we love Alfie. Shame there wasn't a picture of him. Rigoletto at the Royal Opera House gets 5 stars. Daniel Finkelstein writes a column, failure of GB News is a warning to the right. And he says something out loud here that his fellow columnists will probably be annoyed that he does. So he writes... Hang on. The second warning is the danger to the right of speaking only to ourselves. Most of the time, the channel features one right-wing person discussing right-wing opinions with another right-wing person for an audience consisting only of right-wing people. Sounds a lot like the Times. The other thing he says is, you can't cancel someone for saying Churchill is racist and reasonably be furious if they try to cancel you back for saying he isn't. Nor can you be an effective champion of free speech without considering where you might wish to place its limits. Incredible that he's writing that in a paper where his colleagues, and he himself on occasion, write this kind of stuff constantly. The comment section of the Times, the op-ed section of the Times, would be almost empty if it didn't include at least 1 or 2 columns about cancel culture per week. And across the page, the unfortunately named Roger Boys writes, Merkel weakened Germany and split Europe. Matthew Paris, a man who, let's not forget, despite his recent visit to meet some GRT people, wrote a column arguing that they should be stripped of ethnic minority status, writes about his e-bike, doing knots, not liking the SNP, and his dog. The Notebook column, a completely pointless exercise always. Meanwhile, Alice Thompson, the second columnist we've dealt with today, Alison Pearson in the Telegraph, I've done some tweets about it if you want to see more about that, is a person who doesn't understand Gillick competency and medical ethics around children making choices about their own treatment. And Alice Thompson is another columnist doing that, and her headline is, "Teenagers are ill-equipped to decide on jabs. Allowing youngsters to say yes or no to vaccines is typical of our modelled approach to giving them responsibilities." In the birthdays today, the Duke of Sussex, Prince Harry, is 37. Debbie Abrams, the Labour MP for Oldham East and Saddleworth, Shadow Work and Pension Secretary till 2018, is 61. Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie, the writer of Purple Hibiscus and Half of a Yellow Sun, is 44. Sophie Dahl is 44. Lord Stanley Fink, hedge fund manager and principal treasurer of the Conservative Party till 2013, is 64. Tom Hardy, the actor, is 44. Lord Philip Harris of Peckham, the chairman of Carpetright until 2004, boss of a carpet company, ends up being a lord. That's a classic of the British establishment. He's 79. Very Reverend David Isson, the Dean of St Paul's, is 67. Margaret Keane, the artist known for her paintings of children with saucer-like eyes, is 94. Tommy Lee Jones, the actor, is 75. Queen Letizia of Spain is 49. John Loker, the abstract painter, is 83. Sir Michael Lyons, the chairman of English Cities Fund and of the BBC Trust until 2011, is 72. Professor Helen Margetts, the political scientist and director of the Oxford Internet Institute until 2018, is 60. Clive Merrison, the actor, known for his portrayal of Sherlock Holmes in Radio 4 dramatisations from 1989 to 2010, is 76. Emerson Mnangagwa, the president of Zimbabwe, is 79. Brendan O'Carroll, the televisual terrorist, actor and writer of Mrs. Brown's Boys, is 66. Palakowski, the filmmaker, is 64. Michael Proctor, the cricketer from South Africa, is 75. Renzo Rosso, the fashion designer for brands including Diesel, Maison Margiela, which I only know about because it's mentioned in a lot of hip-hop songs. Victor and Rolf and Marnie is 66. Henry Silver, the actor, is 93. Oliver Stone, the director, is 75. Amanda Wakely, the fashion designer, is 59. George Walden, the writer and former diplomat and Conservative MP until 1997, is 82. His daughter is Celia Walden. So unfortunately for him, his son-in-law is Piers Morgan. Is 82, Steve Watkin, the cricketer for England till 1993, is 57. Alan Whitehead, Labour MP for Southampton, Shadow Business, Energy and Industrial Strategy Minister, is 71. And Peter Wilson, sport shooter and Olympic gold medalist in 2012, is 35. On this date in 1950, United Nations landed up to 50,000 troops behind enemy lines at Incheon off the western coast of Korea. The last word today goes to Elbert Hubbard, the American writer in the Motto Book, 1907. Never explain. Your friends do not need it, and your enemies will not believe you anyway. Right. Moving on. Top General tried to keep unstable Trump from nuclear button. Beijing, he succeeded in a way, but it's also a confession that the American military would do a coup if they felt like it. Beijing warships test US by patrolling off Alaska. Babies mixed up in maternity ward blunder grow up to be best friends. That is a report from Rome. Spanish PM caps soaring energy bills. Stalling Balkans, UK, EU entry risks a new migrant crisis is the claim from Brussels. In Vietnam, Tarzan dies after return from jungle. A man called the Vietnamese Tarzan, who spent 41 years in isolation in the jungle, has died of cancer 8 years after returning to civilization. Ho Van Lang, who was 52, emerged from the forests of central Vietnam in 2013 with his aging father, Ho Van Thang, who had retreated there in 1972 during the Vietnam War. The two were in loincloths made of tree bark and they lived off jungle plants, corn they planted, and animals they hunted, with almost no contact with other inhabitants. According to Vietnamese media, Than, who died in 2017, age 86, had been a soldier, apparently with the Viet Cong, who fought and eventually defeated the US and South Vietnamese forces. According to the Viennese Express website, he had become mentally unstable after his mother and two older sons had died in a bombing. He was violent to his wife, and after beating her, retreated into the jungle with Lang, who was aged 2. They ended up living in a treehouse 20 feet high. Twice a year, Lang's younger brother, Ho Van Tri, would come to visit them, bringing rice, salt, and oil. They were eventually persuaded to return to their village when the health of Lang's father deteriorated. Lang lived next door to his brother and worked on a farm and became close to his nephews and nieces. He was contacted by a Spanish businessman named Alvaro Cerezo, who took him on a trip to a Pacific island. Cerezo reported that Lang had never seen the ocean, was baffled by the saltiness of the water. He couldn't sleep because he was afraid the island was floating and it could sink. In November, Lang was found to have untreatable liver cancer. He died on Monday with his family at his bedside. What a deeply sad story. On the front page of the Times 2, it's more about the Met Ball. We're not going to go through the Times 2. Did you read Times 2 today yet?
Yeah.
Okay.
Too busy.
Too busy, I know. But sometimes you have and then you know things about it. Right. Moving on. David Smith in the business column says, with the final curtain looming for furlough, what will happen next? Well, many people will lose their jobs is what will happen next. Ocado counts the true £35 million cost of the robot warehouse fire. In the obituaries, by the way, do you make use of your Herzogs? In part, just to encourage me to drink water because, or rather, delicious mustard. In the obituaries, of course, the main obituary today is Charlotte Johnson, while the artist and mother of the Prime Minister, who spent time in a psychiatric hospital and claimed never to have voted Conservative. I think it's pretty grim that they put her brief stay in a psychiatric hospital at the top of her obituary. And just contributes to the continuing stigmatization of people with mental health conditions. Oh my, now you're all redeeming Hydrate. Well, I finished the bottle now. Thank you. Igor Oistrach, the Soviet violinist who was one of the first musicians to emerge from behind the Iron Curtain and dazzle audiences in the West, has died. He was 90. And Steven Weinberg, the Nobel Prize-winning theoretical physicist who predicted the so-called God particle and took a dim view of religious fairy tales, has died. He was 88. Also in the obits, a Lawrence Bloom, property developer whose idea about eco-towel use transformed the hotel industry. In the sport, Matthew Syed, who manages to have a political column and a sports column, the Prince of Ping Pong as he is, says Raducanu must retain the verve that McIlroy lost. Shut up. McIlroy's still got it. Mentor Wilkinson inspired Cipriani's unlikely swan song in the rugby. Rugby should be 3 times bigger. I see opportunity, says the chairman of the RFU. Bournemouth 2, QPR 1 in the Sky Bet Prem Championship. Birthday joy for in-form Solanke. Desperate Roos holds firm. Kelly Roos was the unlikely hero for Derby County as his side were pummeled in the championship by leaders West Bromwich Albion. But they could find their way past the Dutch goalkeeper out of the Hawthorns. West Brom 0, Derby 0. Lukaku put a goal past Zenit St. Petersburg to get the win for Chelsea. And Young Boys at the Wankdorf Stadium beat Man United 2-1. On the back page, Young Boys 2, 10 Men 1 is the headline after Aaron Wan-Bissaka was sent off in the 35th minute. Right, that is the Times. On the back of the Times, an advert for No Time to Die and James Bond's choice of watch, Omega, which I still can't get over that. I think it's in Casino Royale where he literally talks about his Omega watch in a crushingly bad bit of product placement. Young Boys. Yes, the team is called Young Boys. It's a Swiss team, and it tells you all you need to know about it. Young Boys, and at what stadium? The Wankdorf Stadium. I've got to get more water now because you all maybe drink it all. I have refreshed the mustard. Right, let's switch to Daily Mail. Has Roger Boys ever seen Young Boys? It's a worrying thought, isn't it? Thank you for that, Red Tech Seed. I'm not going to down this bottle because I don't want to be sick on stream. Front page of the Daily Mail, picture exclusive, sharing in her New York joy, the boy who's been a magical friend to Emma since she was 6. See, look, they're already starting being weird about her. If you abuse the hydrate button, I will withdraw the hydrate button. The main story of on the front page is surprise. It's back to panic stations. And when is the Daily Mail ever not at panic stations? Inside the paper, I did ask for it to be fair. Inside the paper, to pages 2 and 3, this thing about Emma Raducanu with her friend Benjamin Haynold revealed how Emma jumped at a chance to catch up with her old tennis pal in New York. Okay, they want to, magical friend. They want to know if they're bonking. Exactly. On pages 4 and 5. So who was the belle of the ball? They're rating various dresses at the Met Ball. On page 7, heartbreaking face of pandemic cancer delays. That's pretty convenient. Amid row over pay freeze, Patel pulls out of police conference as it clashes with vote in Westminster. Yeah, how convenient. On pages 8 and 9. The Daily Mail, enjoying its panic with farewell freedom. On page 13, anti-vax rappers rap for Whitty and Boris. Again, if you want to know more about this and the absolutely weird and distorted reporting around the Nicki Minaj thing, read today's newsletter. She's not anti-vax. If you look at the spread of her tweets, she's maybe misguided. And certainly, the tweet about the massive balls was odd. But in the totality of her tweets, she's actually retweeted quite a lot of people saying, I got the vaccine, it was really good, it's really important, etc., etc. So, whatever. And the notion that Chris Whitty attacked her at the press conference is complete bullshit as well. Stephen Swinford, deputy political editor of The Times, asked a question about Nicki Minaj's tweet. Very narrow, distorted question. And Chris Whitty merely talked about people who encourage others not to get the vaccine, saying it was a bad thing, and he thinks that's appalling when that happens. But he didn't make a personal attack on Nicki Minaj in any way. But of course, the Daily Mail has gone along with Tale of the Tape. How many Twitter followers they have, what their speciality is, their date of birth, etc. It's also, unquestionably weird and racialized. On page 15, Hate Island, reality stars, online death threats by children and abuse from mums. This is Amy Hart, the former Love Island contestant who appeared before MPs yesterday to talk about abuse she's received on social media. And also, Instagram admits making teen girls' body image worse, and UK girls most suicidal reveals leak. This is claimed a report, an Instagram report, internal report. Again, you always have to look a bit more deeply into how these stories are reported by the press, particularly as social media has become basically the newspaper's biggest competitors. So, yes, there's huge problems with it, huge problems with Facebook, huge problems with safeguarding at Facebook, huge problems with the way Instagram is managed and how abuse is handled and there, all that kind of stuff. But, when isn't it suspiciously weird and racialised in the Daily Mail? Well, that's a good point, Slink. Fair dude. Sarah Vine's column today. How toxic of Lineker to use tennis ace Emma for his own ends. Writes Sarah Vine, using Emma Raducanu for her own ends. She slags off Kim Kardashian. And she says, party PMs checkers history. Rather a shame from Boris Johnson's point of view that David Cameron has joined predecessors John Major, Tony Blair and Gordon Brown in pulling out of the party this weekend at Chequers, celebrating 100 years since the House became the Prime Minister's official country retreat. During DC years as an incumbent, the place was positively rocking most weekends, with Cameron presiding over cocktails. Frothy white ladies were his speciality. Oh, aye. Before tucking into another of Chef Graham's delicious feasts. She's gonna miss this when she isn't able to go on about all her access to government, isn't it? When she's finally rid of Gove. Alex Brummer says, why do so many young Britons think serving at the pub is beneath them? They don't. The wages are bad. Notting Hill horror. 3 die in fireball after 90-mile-per-hour crash. Horrendous. Lawyers take aim at the dodging Duke. Army needs more Bond geeks to fight off threat from abroad. Okay, massive dog. Just a picture of a massive dog. He's a Pyrenean mountain dog. He has passed away. He's passed away now. But, yeah. I know, no, sorry. Yeah, Kaylee, the Pyrenean mountain dog, passed away. This is a follow-up dog, Jacko, whose full name is Jacko du Haras de Chanteneige, to use his grander pedigree name. So there you go. Anyway, it's about people who make scarves and jumpers out of dog's fur, basically. Kind of weird, but not that weird. Slicker Meyer says, Instagram loves to take down my photos of tiny prints with pixel-wide nipples, but couldn't give a fuck when I was being harassed by a creepy stalker dude, so that highlights their priorities. Yeah, I agree with Pantomime Horse, absolute solidarity, Splinker there. Yeah, and it's just the thing, their priorities are completely screwed. Snack Attacker's French Bake-Off star Manon gives Brit children's eating habits a roasting, says the Daily Mail. You can expect that one to be turned into a column tomorrow. Ashflat McNulty, anyone with a dog who has an official name should be forced to shout the whole thing at the park. Agreed. That is now the official policy of this stream. On page 29 and 30, a brilliant artist, ever-patient parent to 4 boisterous children, and when she was hit by Parkinson's, devoted herself to its charity, is Charlotte Johnson Wald, dies age 79. A Farewell to a Prime Mother by Beth Hale. They're angry that there aren't very many British names in the list for the Booker Prize. Whatever. Right, on this day column today, September 15th, 2021, today, on this day, in 1981, the Daily Mail wrote, Marcus Sargent, the 17-year-old who fired blanks at the Queen from a replica pistol during June's Trooping of the Colour ceremony, had planned to assassinate the monarch, the Old Bailey heard yesterday. Jailing Sargent for 5 years, John Lane, the Lord Chief Justice, told him, I have little doubt that if you'd been able to attain a real gun, you would have tried to murder Her Majesty. On September 15th, 2007, Daily Mail wrote, a shudder ran through the economy yesterday in the wake of the Bank of England's emergency loan to keep Northern Rock afloat. Panicking customers queued in their thousands to empty saving accounts after Britain's 5th biggest mortgage lender admitted it was running out of cash. City analysts fear the global credit crunch might affect other banks similarly. No shit. Happy birthday from the Daily Mail to Sophie Dahl. Sophie Dahl seems nice. And to Tom Hardy, who's 44. Margaret Lockwood was also born on this day in 1916, died 1990. The Indian-born English actress, known for a beauty spot painted high on her left cheek, starred in The Lady Vanishes and The Wicked Lady. The biggest UK box office star of the 1940s, Lockwood once complained to studio head J. Arthur Rank that she was sick of sinning after several bad girl film roles. Also born on this day in 1907, died 2004, Fay Wray, the Canadian-born US actress, was in more than 70 films, but found fame as Anne Darrow in 1933's King Kong. Its director, Marion C. Cooper, told her she would star with the tallest, darkest leading man in Hollywood. Ray said, naturally, I thought Clark Gable. On September 15th in 1938, Prime Minister Neville Chamberlain met Adolf Hitler at his holiday home in the Berchtesgaden, Bavaria. And in 1984, Stevie Wonder's I Just Called to Say I Loved You was at number 1 in the UK. Quote of the day comes from Andrew Grove, the Hungarian-born US computer engineer, born 1936, died 2016. And his quote was, only the paranoid survive. Can't have been paranoid enough then, can he? And joke of the day. What is a snake's best subject? History. Yeah. Right, moving on. A lot of stuff in the Money Mail, the usual scare stuff. King United 2, we stand a regicidal king. loads and loads of adverts for places you can go. Escorted coach holidays to Ireland, which in the year of our Lord 2021 they call the Emerald Isle. You can go to Killarney and the Ring of Kerry, Ireland's southeast, Waterford and Wexford, Westport and Wild Connemara. I'd love to go to Connemara, to be fair. The Wild Atlantic Way, Giant's Causeway, and Donegal. All sound fine, but I would rather not go on a coach trip with Daily Mail readers to get there. Just skipping through them. Yeah, that Chronotherm there in hysterics from that joke. Today's TV recommendation is Fred and Rose West. Reopened. And the TV reviews, Thomas Hardy, Fate, Exclusion and Tragedy only gets 3 stars, and A House Through Time gets 4 stars. In Garfield today, Garfield is reading a letter to Odie. It's a Dear Ask a Dog letter. Dear Ask a Dog, why do cats have 9 lives? I'll take this one, Odie. It's simple. Cats have too much sarcasm for just 1 life. In Chloe and Co. Chloe is stood up in the first frame, but sitting in the second and third frames, and she's talking to her friend about food today, not men. And in Fred Bassett, it's very windy. It's very foggy, and Yorkie is being told by Fred Bassett that he's having a bit of a brain fog moment. The writer of Fred Bassett seemingly thinking that brain fog actually is a visual thing. Okay, today's poems are, it's a triple threat of terrible poems. So, knuckle down, chew down on a piece of wood if you really need to. By the way, thank you, Sam Bastu, for following the channel. Thank you also to Monkey Shaver, Lucy Lee 1719, and Wavy Caligula for subscribing with Prime. Red Tixid, I know, shaking things up in the Chloe world. Right, so here are the poems. Today's poem. Please don't take my cash away. I need it in my purse. To take it away and just have cars will feel like I've been cursed. What would I do when grandchildren call and I reach for my trusted God, the scansion in this stuff. And I reach for my trusted stash. Pound coins that I've been saving. See, I really do need cash. I need it for my papers that I like to read each day. Friends will pay the newsagent, but we can't take your cards, they say. So please do tell me what to do when my gardener comes each week. Please tell me how I pay him. My future's looking bleak. For I love my money boxes. I fill them to the brim. I can use this money for many tips without would be a sin. So please don't take my cash away. Let me keep it in my purse. For I wouldn't like the feeling of little old me being cursed. That is A.R. Hopkins of Kent. Very... I mean... Yeah. Can't be mean to an old man or lady, so I'm just going to leave it at that. Ken Irons of Newport, Isle of Wight writes again, the Limerick. Now she's tennis greatest new kid. The significance of what she did will remain with our Emma and assure that forever she'll never be short of a quid. And today's rhyme for our time, with apologies to Flanders and Swan. I'm a gnome, a garden gnome that gnats around here, gnawing my old dome. I'm a gnome, my name is Jerome. I'm tied to a lump of gneiss so I can't roam. Oh, what a life! If I had a knife, I'd cut the knots that bind, then leave home. But if I fell and knocked my head, I'd be knackered, if not dead. So I just gnash my teeth instead, 'cause I'm a gnome. And that, once again, is I.G. Fenner of New Milton Hants. Please... this is a message to the family of I.G. Fenner. He must be stopped. Right. The straight to the point letters. Tom Humes writes, in a post-match interview, Emma Raducanu and Lena Fernandez didn't start a sentence with so, I mean, or you know. The tennis was good too. Oh, shut up. Chris Wicks says, sofas for dogs? My dog already has one. Mine! Brian Gregory of Wethamstead says, Max Verstappen should have a flashing blue lights and 2-toed horns fitted to his F1 car so other drivers know they should pull over and let him through. David Edwards says, I'm not on social media, so if anyone wants to call me a name, they will have to do it face to face. Oh, really? You're a prick. Richard Morgan of Reading says, what a moving eulogy by Richard E. Grant for his wife Joan. I hope his happy memories will help sustain him. Mark Kennedy says, whinging locals should think themselves lucky that James May didn't buy the farm shop instead of Jeremy Clarkson. Just think of how slow service would have been. M. Southern says, how green do people think it is to drive their 4x4 car miles to a farm shop? And Bob Reeves says, the proms prove the saying that if you go to heaven, you get a harp. If you go to hell, you get an accordion. And today's meal is lentil pasta with tomato and red pepper sauce. I mean, it looks awful. Coin alert. Today's coin is 24 karat gold coin featuring a unique gothic picture of the Queen. We've discussed this coin before. She's not wearing eyeliner. There's no Sisters of Mercy t-shirt. Very bad goth portrait. Recursive Rose gives the paper -69 for lentils. Zobering Bacon with the coins. Zobering Bacon with the coins. And Gethin Jones says simply coins. In the sport for the Mail today, Young Boys 2, Old Master 1. Ronaldo Despair is United beaten in last kick of the game at, and I repeat, the Wankdorf Stadium. Van Tam urges EFL players to get jabbed, and turmoil at Toon as under-24 stars her in Barbara. Fogoth coin indeed, Slinkermeyer. So that was today's Daily Mail. Give me your reviews. Give me your scores. I give it a sex tuple negative nice. -69, -69, -69, -69, -69, -69. Now, if you enjoyed the show today, and I hope you did, there are a couple of ways. There are 3 ways, in fact, you can help. If you're not a subscriber to the show, but you want to subscribe, especially if you've got Amazon Prime, which effectively means you can subscribe for free, do that. Otherwise, consider signing up for the newsletter. You can sign up for free, and then if you like it, you can upgrade to a paid subscription, which, you know, helps keep me in the minor manner that I've become accustomed. I've written newspaper instead of newsletter, so that's why that command didn't work. Newsletter, there we go. And the other thing you can do, if you don't want to subscribe to that or commit to a subscription here, is just chuck some coins into the paper fund. PayPal.me/Conquest of the Useless. Always appreciated and helpful. And last but not least, in this bit where I'm going to have to set up a command for this, so I don't have to go and get the link every day. Actually, I can't set up a command because you have to link only lasts. Anyway, whatever. Oh, thank you, Dan LaRosa, for subscribing with a Prime. Much appreciated. Finally, if you're not a member of the Discord, join the Discord. It's great. We share terrible articles and sometimes good articles. Amongst other things, it's a good way to know when the show's going to be on or other stuff that's coming up, basically. Great. So, thank you for joining me today. Thank you, Slinkermeyer, for the endless -69 reviews for the Daily Mail there. Yu-Gi-Oh! Says, wait, what about the picture of the Queen on that coin? Makes it look like she's about to sack Rome. I feel like she would if you can get away with it. Thank you, Slinkermeyer. If you are watching this later on YouTube, please like, subscribe, comment, all of that good stuff. It's really appreciated. I'll be back tomorrow at 1 p.m. for another exciting run through the terrible catacombs of the British press. Might try some new papers tomorrow, who knows? And Red Tick Seed wants me to hydrate again. Goodbye for now.